What's up, YouTube? Thought I'd get on here and make a little video on the essence and how can I say, the attraction of the female body. Um, for years, the the black female body has been, how can I say, admired by all races, but especially Caucasian race, especially when they start bringing slaves over and the white wives of the slave owners and the masters at that time noticed that all the white men were so, how can I say, thrilled and absorbed with the black body parts of the black females. Uh, whether it was the large tits, whether it was the huge ass, or the broad hips, it was just so appealing. And they would look at their woman and look at the black woman and be like, wow, it's such a drastic difference. Because at that time, most European women were pretty much skinny, straight up and down, really no butt, titties, but not no voluptuous titties as we see today with the implants, and I'll get into that in a second. But that led most of the slave owners and masters to start to father kids from the black slaves. Also, this was a form of, um, how can I say, gene manipulation in order to, dilute their bloodline and to, prolong survival. Because at that time, their bloodline was really, really dying at a drastic rate. And from diseases and all kind of stuff. Um, at that time, bestiality was big among them. And they kept a lot of animals around. And a lot of diseases they got from them, they would pass on and they would die a lot from them. You know what I mean? And they started to realize not only did the slaves have, voluptuous bodies and, more muscular bodies, their gene and their anatomy was totally different, and it had certain healing properties. And they started to notice that, well, we can get some of that DNA or some of that blood into our bloodline, we too will have more healing properties and will be able to heal more sufficient. But that's for another video at another time. But yes, that's when they start, sneaking into the slave quarters. I have a little bed wench in a house with them that they can have sex with because, like I say, they were so impressed with the female body of the black female. So the white female started to notice this, and at that time they was like, wow, we're not shaped anatomy like them, and we can't, how can I say, at that time there was no implants and stuff like that or surgeries that can alter their shape. So they came up with certain dresses with certain designs and make the chest look puffier, make the ass look broader or more hips. That's where the prom dress look comes from, with the broad bottom, to make it like you have hips. But that was started by European women. Then comes around, some white guys decide, hey, let's start up a porn industry. So at that time, then all the white women start getting praised because it's like all the porn women was all white. So they was like, oh my God, like, for all men, black men, white men, whoever it was, we all watched porn at that time when it came out. If you was, even if you was young, I was a kid, but it was like, yeah, you get the tape, you hide under the bed, and you pop it in, and it's white guys and white ladies, and it's all kind of, how can you say, dramatic, you know what I mean? But you was impressed and you were turned on by it, you know what I mean? And, most of us, did our thing. We was young, so we did young things when it was appropriate at that time, you know what I mean? But at that time, there was no black porn stars, you know what I mean? Then the black women came in and started doing porn also. And then it was, how can you say? It was a paradigm switch. So now the white men was looking at the black women on camera, and they're like, wow, they have the voluptuous titties, they have huge butts and curvy bodies and hips. So they was like, wow, okay, then around that time, surgery was coming out. Not more for hips and butts and stuff like that, but more for breasts. So they were like, okay, we can't deal with the butt. We can't get a big butt. But most of the time on camera, our butts either in the air, and when it's in the air, it looks round, or, we land on our back. And even at that point, the only thing you can see is the top. So the titties would be perfect. So they went to getting, implants, and then you start noticing most white women start getting implants. It was like a big thing. Like, if you didn't have an implant, you wasn't, you know what I mean? You wasn't really popping, you know what I mean? Especially around, rich white guys, even rich athletes, you know what I mean? If you was an athlete, you around athletes, you want an athlete, you had to have some fake breasts. Some things had to be big and juicy. So, this is another example of how the black body was worshipped and sought after so bad, you know what I mean? So then, this got out of point and started getting the mainstream and regular housewives and, women who's working and women start saving, and when they're getting financed for breasts, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden everybody, who wasn't, and now black women get implants now. What I'm talking about at that time, it was more white women getting implants, you know what I mean? And it was to copy after the black women. They want to be more like them, you know what I mean? Then, as you move up the timeline, more doctors start coming out with more advanced surgery. So now, the Brazilian butt lift and stuff start coming out. So it's a way to give women's more of a flat belly, and now you can tummy tuck yourself, and now you can broaden your hips and, get a broader butt. You know what I mean? Because, everybody, if you ever seen a Brazilian, they have more of a rounder shaped butt, because that's a mix between most African, 80% African, and 20% Portuguese, you know what I mean? And that's how the island is basically divided, you know what I mean? Like, out of the 80% of the people that's on the island are either African or mixed, and maybe 20% might be full Portuguese, you know what I mean? And that's where you get most of these different versions of colors and broad butts and broad hips. But it became big. That's another story. It became big, and a lot of women started wanting to get that. You know what I mean? So now you see a lot of white women there, broad hips, big butt, big chest. You know what I mean? They're twerking. You know what I mean? So just another example of how the black woman has been not only hijacked, she's been degraded and pushed down to her lower self, even though she's the god and the queen of the earth, you know what I mean? And then in the background, she's been hijacked by other entities, you know what I mean, to facilitate her looks, her shape, her personality, you know what I mean? The way she walks, you know what I mean? They're taking all her good parts and just want to portray the bad part of the angry black female. So, just something to look into. If you see today, surgery is big, the big butt thing is big, you know what I mean? If you look all over the internet, social media, you go into these clubs, you know what I mean? And now it's, which is weird because a lot of black women are starting to get it too, you know what I mean? They don't even realize that it was actually got by most European women to, copy off of black women, because we had natural curves and everything. Now, some of us are born without curves, but you got to realize, your body structure, your body shape, and you can advance that. You know what I mean? You can create the body that you want. Actually, you can. If you're big, you can get small. If you're small, you can get big, and you can get curves. I've seen it. I've seen black women that I knew in high school, skinny, graduated high school, skinny, in college with her, skinny. You know what I mean? And it's not all about kids. I mean, she graduated from college, she maybe gained 20 pounds. You know what I mean? High school, 110. College, she maybe went to 125. Graduated, maybe 135. Senior year after that, oh my God, she's like 150. You know what I mean? 155, real curvy and, juicy. I'm like, what the hell? You had kids? I ain't got no kids. You know what I mean? Went to living good. I guess, got married, whatever happened. You know what I mean? When you're living good, eating good, you know what I mean? Feeling good, you know what I mean? Feeling sexy, and everything that you want will just exude itself, you know what I mean? But, people don't understand that, how strong the mind is, and then, they go into surgery or other things that they really don't need, you know what I mean? And, you can see everybody else trying to be the black woman. They're putting the fake breasts on, the fake hips, the fake butts. Tanning is big, you know what I mean? You'll rarely ever see, you know, a European woman that's not tan, you know what I mean? I stay right by the beach, and I go out there, and you rarely see black people out there. They run from the sun. I love the sun because it's a very source of energy, vitamin D, I love it, vitamin E, a lot of essential vitamins you can get from the sun. But they're out there tanning and getting that, whatever source of energy or sun that they can get, you know, once they put the suntan lotion on, because without that, it can be detrimental to their skin. But once they put that on, you know what I mean, they can get a little tan, and it can exude some melanin to the surface. Even though bombarding that melanin to the surface will eventually destroy the skin. And when they get older, you start to see a lot of black spots and cracks in the skin because of the bombardment of sun onto that sunscreen to bring the melanin up to tone the skin. You know what I mean? You're really damaging the skin doing that. It's like putting your skin in a microwave. It's not conducive or any type of way to the health of your skin. You know what I mean? But since black people have natural melanin, we don't really need that. As long as we, right now, as long as we can get in the sun at a nice time and relax out there, you know what I mean? It's not good to be out there without no lotion, because you won't get sunburnt, but the sun can scar your skin if your skin is dry. You want it to be nice and moist, because some of us don't eat good, so we don't propose or sweat or get the right moisture in the skin because we don't eat properly. But make sure you have your skin moisturized. You can go in the sun and get the energy that you need and all the vitamins that you need from the sun. But especially today, like I said, you can see with all the surgeries how everybody is basically copying over the natural prototype of the God one, or the Holy One, or the black woman of the earth, or the God of the earth, the mother of the earth. But quick little video. This your boy Young King. You know what I mean? Chopping up with y'all. Little pillow talk. See you up on the next video. If you're gonna subscribe. I don't really be into that. You know what I mean? You check it out. But if you do, I definitely appreciate it. Comment if you like. Like I say. But till next time.